What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode. Today, I want to talk to you about my 7 favorite items that I recently just purchased from TEMU. And I've actually been using some of them for a very long time already. And I'm also going to touch on what this is going to be about. But let's first dive into the other items, because I thought as the cycling industry is getting more and more expensive on pretty much any item, it might be interesting to talk about some items where you can save a little bit of money. So before we get to the first item, I just quickly want to give you the disclaimer. This is a sponsored video from TEMU. Like, they reached proactively out to me and I accepted it right away because I've been buying a bunch of these things already anyways, as you might know, because I think you've seen some of those items that I'm going to be talking about in a second on my channel already since quite a while. And so there's going to be a description below for every product that I'm going to be showing you, in case you're interested to actually get it yourself. And even if it's sold out, because most of the time one particular item is being sold by different sellers on TEMU, and the platform is actually quite good when it comes to recommending you where you can get potentially the same or a very similar item from a different seller. So in case it's sold out, I think TEMU got you covered with some alternatives. And there's also going to be an exclusive bundle discount code down in the description below, which you can also try out. So I would say enough talking. Now we can jump into the first item. So let's kick things off with an item that I might have used for the longest time successfully for now. And these are TPU inner tubes. We have all those Western brands by now also doing TPU inner tubes, but they are actually quite expensive because they're a very good way to save weight on your bike. One of those TPU tubes now is 36 grams, it says on here. And I just switched pretty much all my bikes except my gravel bike back again from running tubeless setups because it was just too much hassle. And in case something went wrong, it just created this massive mess on the street, also cleaning them out at home in the bathtub. No big fun, I gotta say. So I switched back to tubes, and then after switching back to regular tubes, I figured, I think a couple of years ago, these TPU tubes from RIDENOW, fantastic weight saving, very easy to maintain, no hassle when you have a flat out on the ride. Your hands stay kind of clean as well. Except you have maybe some road dirt on your hands, but way easier and way cleaner than trying to fix a tubeless setup. And some people might think that because they are so light and so thin that you're gonna have punctures all the time. I think through the years that I've been running those, I had like 2 or 3 punctures through 3 years by now. I don't know. And I'm having like multiple wheel sets that I'm constantly putting tubes in and out. So also like punctures while installing pretty much never happened. So big fan. These are particularly from RIDENOW. These are the ones that I've been using all over the place. I actually haven't used any others, I think, so far, because I'm just so happy with these. So big recommendation. RIDENOW TPU tubes. You have different valve sizes and valve lengths as well. And now also with the new design, you actually get a proper metal valve, so you don't have these issues anymore in case you're running an electric pump, like I'm running an electric pump, which heats up quite a bit, that you might be damaging like a plastic valve up here. But now with the new generation, these are metal valves, so also you don't have to carry any adapters with you when it comes to like heat dissipation when you're pumping these things up. So massive recommendation RIDENOW TPU inner tubes. Next item. The second product on the list is something, which is also more in the weight saving domain, because you know how much I love to save a little bit of weight on my bikes. Oh yes! And bottle cages are a very high potential item when it comes to weight savings. They can be quite expensive at times, but this is something that I found being quite good at TEMU when you look for those rather low budget but very lightweight carbon bottle cages. I have multiple of those, various designs on a lot of my bikes, and actually never had an issue. Like, they seem so fragile because they are so light, but I never had actually a bottle getting ejected or something breaking on one of those or stuff like this. I would just look. I think this design is actually quite nice because it holds the bottle very strongly in place. I would always look that it has like a little kind of lip up here, which is also why I picked this particular one, which keeps the bottle nice and secure in there. And I also think when it comes to euro to gram saving, This is also very high up there, very similar to the TPU tubes. Also comes with bolts. You can also maybe get some titanium bolts while you're on TEMU and shopping to have a little bit more weight saving. There are also various packages out there where you potentially also get the titanium bolts with the bottle cage. So definitely one of the key things that I'm looking for whenever I'm building up a new bike, getting some very lightweight bottle cages that don't cost too much money and are gonna keep my bike as light as possible. Yeah, I would say now let's move to the third item, which also has to do with weight saving. Before we get into it, trust me, it might not look as comfortable as it is, but it is really comfortable. And it is a full carbon saddle from a company called, it's always hard to pronounce some of those, Kocevlo. It's written like this. And I mean, it is beautiful. I've been testing a lot of Chinese carbon saddles over the years. Some of them more comfortable than others, but actually this design, it's just, I mean, it just fits my bum quite well. You also have a little bit of compression here, so it also adds a little bit to comfort. It is ridiculously light, as you see me just like waving this thing around. And as I said, I'm already riding this on 3 of my bikes. Had no issues with like cracking or any quality issues actually. You just need to make sure that that your bike basically has clamps for non-round but more of these oval shaped rails, which you normally get with like full carbon railed saddles. But most of the time you get these kind of clamps with your bike anyways. Otherwise it's also very easy to upgrade them. Also you can check out TEMU, I'm sure you might get some clamps over there. But yeah, massive fan of this. If it's not going to be this saddle for you, because I know saddles are a very personal thing, there are various other saddles that you can check on, various other designs. But at this price point, I have to say, I mean, give it a try. Give it a try. I mean, I'm a big fan. I think it also just looks good. I mean, it's a fantastic saddle. Massive fan. So this is item number 3, which also helps you to drastically reduce the weight of your bike together with the TPU tubes and the bottle cage. I think lots of potential to get your bike weight down quite a bit. So let's move to another item, which is quite good looking and could potentially also save you quite some grams depending on what you're running right now. And the fourth item is this titanium 3D printed computer up front mount. So this one actually has this mounting area slightly slanted down, so it also helps you to have your bike computer not stick up too much. If you want to adjust the angle, you basically just put some shims up here and that helps you to adjust the angle. I think it looks fantastic, like very modern, especially if you're running a titanium bike like I'm doing. This is a very nice fit, and it's also ridiculously light, and as I said, just looks apart, and it is super solid. Like there is no bend in here at all. There are also various designs. I mean, when I say various, I think there are 2 designs, at least with the supplier that I was purchasing this one from. And it's just a very nice, very nice piece of kit. So I'm very happy to see that things like this 3D printed titanium kind of magic thing is already available on platforms like TEMU for, as I said, not too much money. I mean, none of this stuff is really expensive in comparison to some of the Western brands. So very interesting item. I think has quite some good bling factor to it. You also have this thing down here where you can mount your GoPro down here as well if you want to. So it is a nice all-in-one package when it comes to being an upfront mount. So now after this, we're leaving the weight tuning category and we're moving to something that is maybe a little bit more practical, something in the bike maintenance domain that I actually haven't used before. Now that I have it, love it. So let's dive into it. So you might have been in those situations already when you're traveling with your bike or you're getting, I don't know, the wheel out to put it on your indoor trainer and you forget to put something in between your brake pads and just by accident or while transporting it, you press your brake levers and that makes your pistons move out, which is something that is not great once you want to put the wheel back in and suddenly your brake pads are too close to actually fit your disc rotor if you press the brake a couple of times, or they're at least going to be rubbing. And normally before I was always going in there with like a wrench or a tire lever or whatever, always felt a bit hacky. And yeah, now I got this tool, which is a nice piston spreader. I think I would call it at least that way. You basically just, you take your brake pads out, you insert this from the top, and then you start slowly spreading this tool, and that slowly pushes the pistons out back into place until they're completely flush with the brake, and then you can go back into assembling your brake pads back again. And yeah, have a nice and smooth running setup. So something that maybe not everybody has to have, but if you tried it once, you're not going to be willing to do it with a tire lever again. I mean, this just feels so much more professional. It's also, as everything on this list, quite cheap to get. And yeah, it just makes your life quite a bit easier, keeps your tools clean, keeps your hands cleaner. So yeah, big fan that I finally got one of those tools in my toolbox. So that's going in my bag as well. That's going to be traveling everywhere with me. So a nice piston spreader. Yeah, link in the description below, like with the other tools. And next up, the sixth item on the list is something that also has to do with bike maintenance, and something that I just used because I just came back from a bike ride and it is already quite rainy and wet here in Berlin. So yeah, let me show you. So the next item on the list is this power fan. I mean, it looks like a regular hairdryer, so something that I absolutely wouldn't need. But let me turn it on real quick and show you how much power this thing actually has. I mean, you have 4 different modes. So as I said, I was just using this because I came back. My bike was very, very dirty from the wet roads. So I quickly had to wash it. So my bikes are stored in my apartment in here, and most of the time after a wash, I'm not getting into every little gap with my towel. And this is where this thing comes in, because the pressure is so high that it is able to like really blow out all the last bit of water out of all those gaps. And yeah, that kind of prevents my floor, even though after I cleaned up my bike and after I think that I dried off my bike with a towel, to keep dripping on my wooden floor. So this is a tool. Didn't think I needed it. I actually didn't know that things like that existed. But yeah, while browsing TEMU, I found it and just got it. And yeah, it turns out to work very well. And I was thinking about how am I going to show you how much power this thing actually has. And it might not look great, but I think there's just one way. Let's go. Ooh. Dry mouth. So it seems like a little gadget, but actually, yeah, quite a helpful tool when it comes to bike maintenance and keeping your bike nice and clean and yeah, and dry without any water. So I think not only great for titanium bikes, also great especially if you're riding a steel bike where rust and corrosion can be a thing, to get all the water out of the system. So check it out. So now let's talk about these slightly odd looking things. These are, let's call them compression socks or compression foot compression system, maybe. I found them quite interesting as something that I could do post-workout, because you don't always have the luxury of going to a massage therapist or having somebody massage you at home. And these, I was thinking, might do the job. I was a little bit worried that this is just going to be like some gimmicky thing that's not going to put any pressure on your legs and just going to like slightly touch them. But to be honest, I mean, you have 3 different modes on this thing, which is pressurizing, kneading, and shiatsu. There isn't that much difference to all of those modes, at least not that I was able to find, but it is interesting because it is split into 3 different areas. 3 different areas are the tights, the calves, and the foot down there, so you can target individual zones as well. And you also have 3 different pressure modes of how strong you want this to be. Oh, this is actually very strong. Very strong. I have it on weak. So not bad if you're into these kind of pressure things. It works better than I initially expected also, especially for this price point. So quite an interesting thing. Let's see how it's going to work long term. In general, it's just comfortable. It's just a nice thing to do while you're watching TV or Netflix or watching YouTube, to have these things on. It's also not very loud. I mean, it's only pumping a little bit of air into those predefined pockets through those silicone kind of hoses over here. So yeah, something that's interesting to try out. Maybe also a nice present for somebody that's into sports, maybe not only cycling, for Christmas. Consider that. And as I mentioned, with all of those items, there are the links in the description below. In case something is sold out, I'm sure you're going to find alternatives. TEMU is quite good with that, of giving you alternatives that are similar products if a particular product is sold out. And there's also another coupon code down in the description below, so also make sure to check that out. So these are the top 7 items that I would recommend getting from TEMU, just to save a little bit of money. I think we're spending already enough money on keeping our bikes nice and shiny and clean and light and aero and so on and so forth, like always getting the latest stuff, that I think it is nice for a change to find some alternatives where you can save some cash. And I hope that there was something useful for you out of this list. If you actually have any recommendations for me, if there are other things that you've seen on TEMU where you had positive experiences with it, let me know down in the comments below, because I mean, as you know, I'm always open to shops for some gadgets. And I hope that you enjoyed this little episode. If you did, consider hitting that like button. Also consider subscribing in case you're not subscribed yet. And with that, as always, I say thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.